thank you for being here with us. We're delighted. We know you came from many different places around the state. We have 11 counties represented here today to actually join us for an award ceremony to really recognize you at the county level, our Indiana College Success Coalitions that have been forming around the state, and to, in particular, recognize 11 counties today. My name is Teresa Lubbers, and I have the pleasure of being the Commissioner for Higher Education for the state of Indiana. Believe it or not, I've held this position for 7 years after having worked in this building as a state senator for about 17. But the work that we have the opportunity to do at the Indiana Commission for Higher Education is so incredibly meaningful for the state of Indiana, and I know that you recognize that, or you wouldn't be doing the hard work that you're doing, mostly as volunteers, to really contribute to this cause. At the Indiana Commission for Higher Education, we understand what I know you understand as well, which is that education and training beyond high school is more important than ever. And that while, in fact, it may have been a rational decision to have had limited education in the past and still have a quality life and be able to take care of yourself and your family, those opportunities for people who have a high school diploma or less are actually dwindling every year. And so what we want to really do is use this as an opportunity to do three things, which is really, I've referred to this several times, is the work that we're doing is it's a triple slam dunk. We have the opportunity to do work that really improves the lives of Hoosiers, and that really is front and center of what we do every day. Give them an opportunity to improve their lives, many of whom, as you know, are first-generation college students. It also gives us the opportunity to deal in a very meaningful way with the skills gap and the needs of employers in the state of Indiana. Increasingly, we're hearing that people cannot find people to fill the jobs with the skills that they need. And the work that you're doing and that we're doing gives us an opportunity to do that. And the third thing is that we're really changing the composition of the state's economy. It is really through education beyond high school that we'll have the opportunity to increase per capita income, and by increasing per capita income, you fill job needs and you grow the state's economy as well. So together, those three things drive the work that we do at the Commission for Higher Education. We believe when we talk about education beyond high school, and I know you do this too, we talk about this as quality workforce credentials, people who leave high school and continue their education by getting some sort of a workforce credential, sometimes a third-party certification of some sort. People who get one-year certificates that are aligned especially with growing sectors in the economy. People who continue and get an associate's degree, a four-year degree, or beyond. If you look at what we need in the workforce, we need more of all of those things. While we have not been a state that ranked high in education attainment, I think that you could say by almost any measure that we follow, high school graduation rates, college going rates, college completion rates, we are moving in the right direction. We're trending in the right direction. But we can't do that operating in the state capitol building or with the Commission's strategic plan or even the good work that we do with our partners at the K-12 sector or with our economic development partners or workforce development partners. This work is actually realized and comes to fruition in families, in schools, in communities, in counties. And that's why we feel so committed to the work that you're helping us do. We've actually worked to make sure that people understand this. I mentioned we operate with a strategic plan. We just developed our third strategic plan at the Commission. Our first one in 2008 was called Reaching Higher. It was really designed to begin the work that I have already talked about. How do you redesign a state's economy by increasing the education and workforce of the people who live in it? And then we circled back around in 2012 and we evolved Reaching Higher into Reaching Higher, Achieving More. We needed to do more, we needed to do it faster, and we needed to do it in every part of the state with every demographic group. And so we were very metric driven about how we would do that. How would we know if we were moving in the right direction? And then this year, the Commission, 14 members of the Commission, where I serve at the pleasure of the Commission, we came back again and we developed a new strategic plan, which is called Reaching Higher, Delivering Value. And this really is at the core of so much about what we talk about in higher education. It's sort of interesting that at a time when education beyond high school is clearly more important than ever, it is not unusual to hear the conversation circle around the question, is college worth it? Is it worth it for me to spend this kind of money, and what will be the return on our investment for doing that? I think it is indisputable that education beyond high school is more important than ever. But at the same time, I think it's important for us to prove that to Hoosiers in very meaningful ways. So we've established this big goal in Indiana, and I know that the work that you're doing in your counties is very data-driven as well. And the big goal is that 60% of Hoosiers would have a quality degree or credential beyond high school. That number aligns with what the workforce needs will be, that you will need to have some sort of a credential or degree beyond high school. To give you a sense of where we are, if it's not in your numbers that you operate with at the state level, we're at about 36% right now. Now keep in mind, that's not a graduation number, that's an attainment, so the adult population who actually would have something. Now, for the first time, we've actually been able to bump that number a little bit because we've never really been able to include credentials in that because that wasn't followed by the U.S. Census when they would ask someone about your highest level of education. And for the first time, with the help of Lumina, we've been able to estimate what we think that would mean on a statewide basis. And that would, in Indiana, that would be about 5 percentage points, which would get us to about 41%, moving toward that 60% goal. But it's a 2025 goal. I think it's safe to say that we know it's an all-hands-on-deck effort for us to get there. And that's the work that we want you to help us with every day. So it was with this in mind that we said, okay, we have a strategic plan, we have a goal, we have our work that we do with the policymakers. How do we do this at the local and county level? And it was from that we began the work to develop college success coalitions. And that's what you have actually said that you would engage with us in doing. Today, we have 72 out of the 92 counties that have coalitions up and running. We have more than 2,000 member organizations. Keep in mind, that's one by one, county by county, member organization by member organization, of which they've all engaged in activities. Over 4,000 that we've been able to document, activities that they're doing with the students and with the families and the people in their community. I want to mention just that when we talk about the attainment goal and when we talk about the work that you're doing, we have understandably focused a lot on those students who are going straight from high school into college or into the world of work. But increasingly, we are also focused on the adult population who need to have new skills and often a degree to continue to be eligible to actually take part in this 21st century economy. So we're talking about not just students who leave high school and go straight to college or a training program, but also returning adults. I have to put in a little bit of a plug here for a program that I hope you've heard about. The Commission is engaging in a program called You Can Go Back. And it's designed to reach, we have 750,000 Hoosiers in Indiana who have some college but no degree. At some point, they had the aspiration to go to college and life got in the way and they didn't quite finish. And so working with our partners at our colleges and universities and providing financial incentives for students to come back, our goal is to reach 200,000 of them by 2020. To actually have this moment in time when they say, I've always wanted to do it, and now I'm going to. That will certainly help us with reaching that attainment goal as well. So the work that you're doing is focused on all kinds of education and training initiatives for young adults and older adults as well. When you decided to engage in this very important work with us, you really have been doing several things. You know, you have some sort of an organizational structure in each of your counties that serves sort of as the lead, the convener for other groups as well. But you also recruited other member organizations, referred to the fact that we have 2,000 in the state, and you have them operating in your counties as well. We are very data-driven at the Commission. We have metrics that we follow. We have a strategic plan that we follow, and you do too. You have a data-driven strategic plan that helps you look at the work that you need to do in each of your counties. And then you're engaging in strategies and work to actually talk to students about education, training, and college success. These partnerships, I think, are going to really help us move the numbers, But it's really not the numbers that we're talking about. It's the people behind the numbers that matter. It's the individuals, the families, the first generation college students, the people who understand that their future and their family's future really depends on education beyond high school more than ever. Every spring and fall, I have the chance to visit many of the coalitions around the state. If I haven't had a chance to be to your county yet, I hope I will have a chance to do that in the next year or so, because I want to say thank you at the county level as well as here today for your willingness as employers, as K-12 leaders, as higher ed leaders, as community leaders, as policy leaders, to actually volunteer your time as well as the jobs that you do every day to create a culture in your counties that understands the importance of education. These are the conversations that we want to replicate around the state, and we think really will have the potential to move that attainment number for Hoosiers. So thank you for being champions in this very important work that we're doing. Please keep up the good work. It doesn't happen fast. You know, you don't move these numbers quickly. It takes a long time, a concerted effort. So as I often say to the folks in our office, don't get weary in well-doing, because the work that you're doing will be the deciding, it is the change agent. It is what will make the difference in the state of Indiana. And I just wanted to be here to say thank you and then to recognize each of your counties for the work that you're doing. With that, I'm going to invite Jason Beers, our Associate Commissioner, to come up, and together, Jason's going to make a few comments, introduce each of the counties. You'll come up. As a part of what you have been doing, we provide these big signs to you so that hopefully you will be able to show those when you come into your counties or someplace that's very visible, so that people who live in your counties understand that you are about this very important work of education attainment. And we'll call you up, bring as many people up as you want to from your counties, and we'll take a picture over here. Hopefully you can use that back in publicity in your own counties, and we'll be working on releases with you as well to get the story out. So again, thank you so very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Lubbers, not only for those remarks, but for continuing to serve as a really effective statewide champion for the College Success Coalitions. As she said, my name is Jason Beers. I'm the Associate Commissioner of the Commission. Quick aside, if you were wondering if we intentionally coordinated our outfits today, we did not, although we couldn't have planned it better. I have the privilege of working with our team at the Commission that provides support to our coalitions, and on behalf of that team, I'd just like to echo our Commissioner's thoughts to say how much we appreciate the work you're doing. We often remark that we do not and perhaps never will have the capacity to provide direct service to every student in the state of Indiana who needs and deserves the support to be successful in K-12 and beyond. And so we just can't do it without willing, committed, empowered, and passionate champions in our communities that they're making this happen. I have the privilege today of welcoming each of our counties up and attempting to pronounce each of your names correctly. So I apologize in advance if I inadvertently mangle any, but I think these are fairly straightforward. We've had some last-minute substitutions, so I will do my best. And I'm joined here with my colleague, Miranda Scully, who works with our coalitions and with our folks in the field, our outreach coordinators. She'll hand you your certificate, and we have our commissioner over here. And without further ado, in traditional alphabetical order, we'll begin with Brown County. From Brown County, we have David Bartlett, who's the director of the Brown County Career Resource Center, as well as Catherine Cabe, Career Education Coordinator for the Brown County Career Resource Center as well. So thank you both. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Thank you both. Dearborn County. From Dearborn, we have Andrea Ewan, attorney at law at the Ewan Law Office and Dearborn Title Insurance Manager, as well as Kimberly Elliott, Family Development Specialist with SIEOC Community Action Agency. Thank you both. Next, we have Greene County. From Greene County, Brianne Geralds, Executive Director of the Greene County Economic Development Corporation, and Nancy Carazia, Work 1 for the Linton. I got that one wrong, didn't I? Okay. I heard the laughter and I thought, well, she's being charitable. Thank you both from Greene County. Next, we have Huntington County. From Huntington County, we have Angela Garcia and Tracy Hensley, members of the Lifelong Learning and Huntington Schools, as well as the Chamber of Commerce. They wear many hats, like many of our coalition members. Thank you, ladies, from Huntington County. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. She almost took the sign with her. Next, we have Johnson County, and accepting the award for the College and Career Success Coalition in Johnson County is Nicole Ati, yes. Central 9 Career Center, as well as Cheryl Morphew, the President and CEO of the Johnson County Development Corporation. Appreciate it. Next, we have LaGrange County. Accepting the award for LaGrange County be Dr. Ava Merkel, the Lakeland School Corporation Superintendent, as well as Crystal Liu, Lakeland School Corporation Curriculum Director. Thank you so much. Thank you. You want another one? Thank you both. Next, we have Marshall County, and one individual is shouldering the full county on her able shoulders. Angie Rupchuk Schaefer, the Chief Development and Communications Officer for the Marshall County Community Foundation. Thank you so much. Thank you, Angie. Next, we have Martin County. Accepting the award on behalf of Martin County is Tim Kinder, Executive Director of the Martin County Alliance, as well as Kimberly Frazier, Director of Business Operations for Stimulus Engineering Services Incorporated. Appreciate it. Thank you both. Next, we have Randolph County. Accepting the award on behalf of Randolph County, we have 3 individuals. Corey Bowman, school counselor for Randolph Southern Junior Senior High School. Karen Ullum, Randolph County Work 1. And finally, but last but not least, Ann Taylor, Monroe Central Junior Senior High School. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you both. All 3, sorry. Next, we have Stark County. We have another 3 individuals representing Stark County. Shirley Fossler with Knox Community High School. Irene Sanzaconia, Stark County Youth Club. Michelle Trustwell, JobWorks and Work 1. Thank you so much. We have one last county that was not able to join us today, but we still want to give them a round of applause anyway, and that's Warwick County. Well, I think we'd like to end where we began today, which is just saying thank you once again. We certainly can't move the needle in Indiana the way we need to without all of you really making it happen. And if I could leave you with just a couple of final requests. One, keep telling us about all the important work you're doing. I have a list here that due to time, I won't read, of just examples of all the great initiatives that are taking place. And we encourage you to continue to share those with your neighboring counties, but also with us, so we can share them statewide, because we don't want the success in one part of the state to be an isolated success. We want to take those efforts and spread them statewide, because we know there's a lot of interesting things happening. And with that, a more specific request heading into this coming school year, I believe our commissioner mentioned our 21st Century Scholars Program. We have these new requirements for the class of 2017, the Scholar Success Program. She started with the basketball analogy. I'll end with one. We're doing a full court press this year to get every single one of those seniors to meet those requirements, so that they not only earn that scholarship, but they're college and career ready. And we know we certainly can't do that without our schools and community organizations working together. And I'm glad we read the names and the participating organizations today, because I think it really shows the diverse collection of organizations that we have involved. Public and private, business and community, education, both K-12 and higher ed. And that's really the promise of the coalition, is that we know there have always been groups across the state of Indiana that are doing great things, but we know they can accomplish even greater things if they can do them together and in partnership. And so we just end with thanking you once again. You're welcome to stay around and commiserate with one another, and we'll certainly be reaching out to you again in the future to continue to keep moving the state forward. So thank you again. Oh, and I do have one last thing I'd like to say. There's so many people to thank, but I want to specifically recognize Sue Reynolds with the American Student Achievement Institute for all the important work she's done to help us develop the coalitions and really make it what it is today. And I'd be remiss if I didn't specifically call her out. So thank you, Sue. That's really it this time.